Bang! In this video, we're going to be discussing with Chudders, who makes all my content, all those videos that you've seen over the last few years, on should you work for an entrepreneur or should you work for a corporate structured company? Let's go.
Perfect.
A little sting in there, won't you?
Of what?
Have we not got a sting?
Should I just use that other one that we use?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should, yeah. Okay, we're back here. Chudders is here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We want to discuss, because one of my senior team members is leaving me and she's going to work for a more structured company that's less entrepreneurial. So that's what she's told me.
I think every company's less entrepreneurial than you, mate.
Yeah, well, there we go. And it got me thinking about, why do people want to work for an entrepreneur like me, like this guy, or for a structured Thomas Cook, RBS, Barclays type company? And what I did is, before I come on, I went on LinkedIn and I've done a LinkedIn Live. 86 people watched and commented on there, so I was on that. And then I've done a Facebook Live on my Facebook page. And I wanted to, because I think it's just such a powerful subject for entrepreneurs to think about, like, because you are not your team, like you are not your customer. Those two things are something that I always think about. I want to bring Chudders on to like bring up some of those comments and discussions that people had on the social platforms, and ask him as well. First of all,
Start with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you love and hate about working with me?
So what I love, let's start with the pros, shall we? You're quite laid back, so you don't really manage me minute to minute. You just make sure.
Are you less productive as a result of that, do you think?
No, way more productive.
Okay.
So because I just wouldn't. If someone was,
would think what you just said there, I reckon people will be thinking, well, you'll be less productive as a result.
Well, I think that is down to the employee. I'm not bigging myself up, but
absolutely,
if someone was on my back every 2 minutes, because everything I'm doing is creative. So like, if you were telling me every 5 seconds, no, this video needs to go there, and this you need to cut it here, you need to use this music, I'd just be like, what's the point in me doing my job then? If you just want to.
But so, because what I was saying on the LinkedIn Live earlier was, I always talk about objectives, strategies, and tactics.
Yeah.
Our objective is aligned on what we want to achieve. Yeah. We want to create a big personal brand that we can leverage off of.
Yeah.
You totally get that, don't you? Do you feel that we change our strategies and tactics to meet that objective, or do you think?
Yeah. So like with this whole YouTube thing that we're trying to do, you've got to play the game of, are we uploading the right content? It can't just be any content. You've got to know we're checking watch time, we're checking analytics every week. That stuff has to be, that's the strategies and tactics.
And do you think big companies think like that as well? I think they do to a degree, or some do. I mean, it's just...
But I've heard that, because I've never worked for a proper corporate company. I've never even had a proper job, like a proper, hopefully I never do. But in Felix Dennis' How to Get Rich, he said,
we got that there.
So in this book, he said it got to a point when his company was so big that they had so many board meetings and roundtable discussions that nothing ever got done, so he stopped going to them. Yeah. So like his whole senior team would just talk about stuff for so long, and that would never happen.
In my company already.
Yeah, but
I've got 450 of these people that work for us, and the more people you get around, I said this in the LinkedIn Live earlier, like you and I, like we're like a little Vatican City within the rest of our bigger business,
right,
where we don't have to answer to anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
But as it gets bigger in the next 3 years, people get political, don't they?
Yeah.
You get
decisions are made slower as well.
Well, I like comparing this to going out for dinner. It's my favourite thing to do. If you go out for dinner with 6 people, everyone's fine. Go out for dinner with 8 people, you start getting 2 groups.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right? And if you go out for dinner with more than 12 people, that's when people start arguing about the bill. I didn't have a dessert.
Yeah, I'm not paying for this. Yeah.
No, we're not splitting the bill. I want to, and that is what people are like. The more people you get involved, the more political it gets.
Well, so I think, just going back to what we do, because the content that we're making is just between me and you, and we have input from other people, the team members and stuff, but because the objective, we know what the objective is, get as many people to watch your content, help grow their business, the more business owners that want to, business owners we help, the more stages you speak on, all of it collectively, we know what we're working towards, but because it's only me making the content, you don't have to be on my back. Yeah. So like the detail is left.
Like about working for an entrepreneurial company, there is no real structure around it.
And even if you do change your mind, that's fine because.
But not everyone can work like that, can they?
Oh no.
So other people need real, and this is what we've learned. Other people. So I suppose whether it's better to work for an entrepreneurial company or a structured company, it's not your ability to work hard. It's what surroundings and environment that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know, like a doctor, you know, a lawyer, an accountant would struggle to work around they need structure, and I think you need to know that probably
I think everyone's different though. So
Yeah,
so I like doing my own thing creatively. Like I like making videos because I can just take whatever direction I want to go into it. At this point, almost, yeah.
Yeah, I would
because,
say now you are, because you've never known any
No.
different. Because
So I've worked.
I
worked a little bit behind.
Like me,
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, I worked a little bit behind the till for a couple of months. I worked as a waiter for a couple of months.
when you had spots.
Yeah, properly when I was like 16, 17. And then after that, I did my own thing for like 2 or 3 years. And now I'm doing this for you. I like the freedom of, like, if I want to work from Costa Coffee, I'll go work from Costa Coffee, and you ain't got a problem with it.
And you've become quite chummy with some of my other team members within the rest of the business.
Yeah.
They don't work like that, do
No. They have to be at a certain place at a certain time because that's the job they need to get done. But I don't.
That is most people, isn't it?
Yeah. But I don't think
99%.
those 99% of people, I don't think would work having their own time freedom either. So if you said to a lot of those people, right, as long as the job gets done, go and do it in your own time, I don't think the job would get done as well. So I think it honestly depends on the person.
Let's go to some of the comments that we've got. We've had probably 100 comments across all the platforms on this. Because, what is it? What are you doing to retain employees? Because I've lost someone really talented, and I'm really upset about it. Lisa's her name. She's off. She's going to be chief exec, so she's been promoted. I'm really happy for her, and we'll stay great friends. But we had a board meeting, and this is what prompted me to make this video. We had a board meeting, and I said to her, "You're off you go to your structured company, like in jest." Where there's no stress, it's all structured and nothing changes. And she said, "Yeah, I know, I can't wait." We're building a dinosaur park, and this is what she said to us. We're building a dinosaur park, and this is something that she said that prompted me to make this video. And we were discussing this board meeting. I've seen the dinosaurs 3 weeks ago, and we're going to open this dinosaur park at Marsh Farm in May. Already got the planning permission, already done the contracts. And she said, that's exactly what I struggle with. She said, because in other jobs I've done, if that was happening, it would take 2 years to implement.
But there's pros and cons of both of that, though.
How long we've been making content.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to just say
ages.
Should we just discuss what
so
we're going to make content?
So it's either some is better than none. You just want to get the place open, and then you can improve it. Yeah, exactly. I can read you like a book.
Yeah.
But some people would prefer to have it all ready to go 100%, then open. Yeah, but the people work differently.
So if people were going to wait 2 years, I'll be ahead of them in 2 years.
But I'm just being devil's avocado here. That's what Lisa would say.
Yeah, that's one of the phrases.
If you waited 2 years and made sure it was you made it Disney quality, you waited 2 years and then it opened, you just blow people away. That's another way people work.
Well, yeah, if you've got the finance and the cash around to do it like that. So,
but you've got 2 years. You've not got 3 months that you're trying to do. Do you know what I mean?
But this is, and I think, well, do you want to be like a Thomas Cook? That's that is the sort of thing that Thomas Cook would have done. Yeah, we need to do Facebook marketing. We need to do social media. We need to build influence online. But what should have Thomas Cook done? They should have got 2,000 Instagram influencers to talk about their holidays.
Yeah.
That instead of doing TV advertising, radio advertising, they probably would have had a much better return on investment on that. But they didn't do any of that stuff. But I've been reading some stuff. They wanted to do all that stuff.
But it took too long.
But they're talking about it.
Right.
Talky. Goodbye. No, look, I'm a big fan of systems and processes. But here's the other thing. But then Lisa said, we was discussing about. She said, like, for example, your children's festival. You changed it all 45 days beforehand. You said you didn't want to run it over 2 days. You wanted to run it over 45 days.
Yeah.
I just changed it, and I made everyone changed it.
So I can think of pros and cons immediately. So it was a massive success, wasn't it? With the best summer you've ever had. So that's like the number one thing there. It worked.
You make my
it
head
worked.
Go bigger
right,
on
but
when you edit this.
But for about 4 weeks before you opened.
Please do that.
Mate,
for when you edit this.
Right, I'll try. But then for the prior weeks going up to it, like, you stressed everyone out. Some people would have got really annoyed at you for doing that. They had a plan what they was going to do for summer, then you suggest that one thing and they've got to change it all.
Yeah.
But it worked, so it's fine now, but you would have annoyed some people.
But then next year we'll just repeat that, because now we've got a system that works.
Unless you decide to change your mind 2 weeks before.
Doubled our turn. No, I won't do it. Once it works, like, I don't change the Father Christmas experience, which is another one.
You just improve it.
That's an improved situation. But we didn't have that until we've got it right. Like Thomas Cook, obviously, you know what they wanted? They was trying to go to the market to raise another few hundred million.
Easy
few
work.
100 million. Let's just go to the market and try and borrow some more money while we work out what we're doing. But where entrepreneurs don't do that. But you're absolutely right, Chad. Some people cannot work in an environment like that. But they think it's stable. They think it's secure because it's all long planned out.
Till it happens, like
in 2009, if Barclays nearly went bust, RBS, NatWest, all of the big banks that everyone would have said were strong and stable.
So this leads me to this Facebook question. David Christie, not a question, just a statement really, said, isn't that the classic battle between big businesses and small ones? Some ones tend to stay safer, whereas big ones tend to stand safer, whereas small ones are more agile and can pivot quickly.
Absolutely. Well, but I think what needs to happen is there needs to be a hybrid of both.
Yeah.
And then you meet in the middle.
Well, I think the hybrid is you make your decisions as you go along and as you learn, and change your mind when and needed to make a better product or service. And your team then obviously need to put the systems in to make it. Like, so you change your mind 3 weeks before for the summer event was annoying, but you made it work. So next year it's going to be even better. So the system and process is that next year is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, you've got the foundations.
But the being agile bit was you changing your mind 3 weeks before. So.
But I changed my mind. I changed the strategies and tactics to meet the objective.
Yeah.
The objective is still to get 250,000
Yeah.
visitors.
Have a successful summer. Everyone enjoys their day out.
Yeah.
So Dave Graham commented as well. I think the one thing my guys hate most about me is that they can't read my mind, and sometimes I don't know 100% myself till the last minute what's happening. But most of this is due to clients not knowing themselves 100%.
I know his problem is he's not taking time to write down his thoughts and getting out and doing. Chuds and I watched the new Netflix documentary about Bill Gates. The bloke dedicates a whole week of his year, calls it Think Week, and he goes out and he plans his year and he thinks and he really, who does that?
It's amazing.
What human being?
He's possibly the busiest human being out there.
There is no excuse.
Oh no.
Yeah, because that's what business are. I can't do it. Bill Gates, you are not busier than Bill Gates.
No.
No.
His brain is working much more than anyone on the planet.
And if he can dedicate a whole week to, and he's on his own, he goes on this little seaplane, lands in a lake, and it literally is like
little Father Christmas shack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a little Father Christmas shack, and the bloke spends a whole week thinking in this thing, and I just...
Some stuff to learn from that.
There is some stuff to learn. I always say get out of environment, and that's what he's done there. He's got out of his regular environment, because when you get out of environment, you think better, and that's what that... is it Dave, did you say?
Yeah, Dave Graham.
That's Dave Graham. You've got to get out of environment and properly think, because if you don't know what the war plan is, how are your team going to come up with the great battle plans to win that war? Have we got any comments, Chad, that you think's worth?
Well, so a lot of people are just negative towards corporate. So people are saying they treat the staff and the customers like they just want to make money.
Do you think that's biased because most people follow us?
I was literally just about to say, so a lot of these people will be either business owners themselves or small businesses that work for small businesses. Now work for a family business who treat their customers and your staff with respect. Cross generalisation, but entrepreneurs often fail to invest in themselves and don't grow as quickly as they can.
Yeah, so I would say that 80% don't invest in themselves. They don't get on YouTube and watch stuff like this. They don't listen to podcasts. They don't read books. But then there's the 20% are the people that do listen to our stuff that always seem to be more super successful because they do pick up books, they do read, they do go to seminars, they do invest in themselves to learn more and surround themselves by different ideas and ideologies, invest time to go and visit other businesses to pick up ideas. And those 20% are the ones that survive. And we're always saying 50% of businesses fail within 2 years, 80% within 5 years, 94% have gone by their 10th anniversary. And it's weird, the ones that have invested in themselves usually are the ones that make it.
Just to finish that off, I think there'll be, because a lot of our viewers will be business owners and they will run small businesses with low numbers of staff, and that work, like for me, example, like working just our content is pretty much just me and you deciding where this goes, which is great, it works for me. But there'll be people that want to be part of a 400, 500, 600 person company where they're just told exactly what to do and they go and do it.
Yeah.
They don't want the freedom.
Some people want structure.
Yeah,
Some
perfect.
people want freedom. And I think what business owners are guilty of is tarring everyone with the same brush.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't think whichever way you want to take this video, there are pros and cons of both. And depending on what type of personality you've got, that's what company you want to work for.
Because I know that like, a big chunk of my employees just couldn't do what you're doing.
Right.
And just say, yeah, you're free to just carry on.
Yeah.
Because they just won't.
But then saying that, I couldn't go and if you told me,
if
you need to be there at this time,
Would be a video
I'd
that
just
would
be
get
like,
some views. Chuds, can you go and look after
Yeah.
43-year-olds?
No, I can't. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe, or a little thumbs up. That makes us happy.
Yep.
And that notification bell. We'll see you real soon.
See you
7
later.
o'clock Mondays and Thursdays to help grow your business. Bye-bye.